Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Chapter 41. As stated in the last chapter, we continue here the story of the picture. 9 years after the occurrence of the incident described in the last chapter, Ali Muhammad saw again Hemat Pant and related to him the following story. One day, while wandering in the streets of Bombay, he bought the picture from a street hawker. Then he framed it and set it on a wall in his house at Bandra. As he loved Baba, he daily took darshan of it. 3 months before, he gave the picture to Hemat Pant. He was suffering from an abscess or swelling on his leg, for which an operation was performed, and he was convalescing in the house of his brother in law, Mr. Noor Muhammad Peerboy, in Bombay. For 3 months, his house in Bandra was closed and nobody was living there. Only the pictures of the famous Baba, Abdul Rahim, Maulana Sahib, Muhammad Hussain, Baba Sai, Baba Tajauddin, and a few other saints living were there. This wheel of time did not even spare these. He was lying sick and suffering in Bombay. Why should the pictures suffer there in Bandra? It seems that they have also their ins and outs. All the pictures met their fate, but how Sai Baba's picture escaped, nobody had been able to explain to me up till now. It shows the all pervasiveness and omnipresence of Sai and his inscrutable power. He had got a small picture of Sai Baba, Abdul Rahim, and Muhammad Hussain Tariya Topin many years ago. He gave it to his brother in law, Noor Muhammad Peerboy, and it was lying in a stable for 8 years. Once the latter saw it, took it to a photographer, and got it enlarged to life size and distributed copies of the same amongst his relations and friends, including Ali Muhammad, who fixed it up in his Bandra house. Noor Muhammad was a disciple of Saint Abdul Rahim, and when he went to present the picture to his guru in an open darbar held by him, the guru got wild and ran to beat him and drove him out. He felt very sorry and dejected. He thought he lost so much money and that it had incurred the guru's displeasure and anger. As his guru did not like image worship, he took the enlarged picture with him to the Apollo Bandar and after hiring a boat, took it and drowned it in the sea. He requested the friends and relations to return their copies and after getting them six in all back, had them thrown by a fisherman in the Bandra area. C. At this time, Ali Muhammad was in his brother-in-law's house and he was told by him that his suffering would come to an end if he would soon drown the pictures of the saints in the sea. On hearing this, Ali Muhammad sent Mehta, manager, to his Bandra house and got all the pictures of saints in his house thrown into the sea. When Ali Muhammad returned home after 2 months, he was surprised to find Baba's picture on the wall as before. He did not understand how Mehta took away all pictures except this. He immediately took it out and kept it in his cupboard, fearing that if his brother in law saw it, he would do away with it. While he was thinking about how it should be disposed of and who would keep it and guard it well, Sai Baba himself, as it were, suggested to him that he should see and consult Maulana Ishmael Mujawar and abide by his opinion. He saw that Maulana had told him everything. After mature consideration, they both decided that the picture should be presented to Anna Sahib, Hemat Pant, and that he would protect it well. Then they both went to Hemat Pant and presented him the picture in the nick of time. The story shows how Baba knew all the past, present, and future, and how skillfully he pulled the wires and fulfilled desires of his devotees. The following story shows that Baba liked very much those persons who took real interest in matters of spiritual and that he removed all their difficulties and made them happy. Stealing the rags and reading Jnaneshwari. Mr. B.V. Dio, who was Mamlatar of Dahanu, wished for a long time to read Jnaneshwari along with other scriptures. He could read daily one chapter of the Bhagavad Gita and some portion of other books, but when he took Jnaneshwari in hand, some difficulties cropped up and he was precluded from reading it. He took 3 months leave from Shirdi. He took 3 months leave and went to Shirdi, and thence to his home at Paur for rest. He could read there other books, but when he opened Jnaneshwari, Some evil or stray thoughts came crowding up in his mind and stopped him in the effort. Try however he might, he was not able to read even a few lines of the book with ease. So he resolved in his mind that when Baba would create love for the book and would order him to read it, he would begin, and not until then. Then, in the month of February 1914 AD, he went with his family to Shirdi. There, Jog asked him whether he read daily Gnaneshwari. Dio replied that he was desirous of reading it but he was not successful, and that when Baba would order him to read it, he would commence. Jog then advised him to bring a copy of the book and present it to Baba and to start reading after it was consecrated and returned by him. Dio then replied that he did not want to resort to this device as Baba knows his heart. Would he not know his desire and satisfy it by giving him a clear order to read? Theo then saw Baba, offered 1 rupee as dakshina. Baba asked for rupees 20, which he gave. At night, he met one Balakram and inquired from him as to how he secured Baba's devotion and grace. Balakram told him that he would communicate everything the next day after Aarti. When Theo went for darshan the next day, Baba asked for rupees 20, which he gave willingly. As the masjid was crowded, Theo went inside and sat in a corner. Baba asked him to come close and sit with a calm mind, which Theo did. Then, after the noon arti was over and after the men dispersed, Theo again saw Balakram and asked him his previous history, what Baba told him, and how he was taught meditation. While Balakram was going to reply, Baba sent one Chandru, a leper devotee, to call Dio to him. When Dio went to Baba, the latter asked him when and with whom and what he was talking. He said that he talked with Balakram and heard from him his fame. When Baba asked again rupees 25 as dakshina, which Dio gave gladly. Then Baba took him inside and sitting near the post charged him saying, you stole away my rags without my knowledge. Dio denied all knowledge of the rags, but Baba asked him to make a search. He searched but found none. Then Baba got angry and said, there is nobody here. You are the only thief. So grey haired and old, you came here for stealing. After this, Baba lost his temper, got terribly wild, gave all sorts of abuses and scoldings. Dio remained silent and watched, and thought that he might get a beating too. After about an hour or so, Baba asked him to go to the Vada. He returned to the Vada and told Jog and Balakram all that had happened. Then, in the afternoon Aarti, he sent for all of them and Dio also and said that his words might have pained the old man, but as he committed the death, he could not speak out. Then Baba asked again for rupees 12. Dio collected the money, paid it, and prostrated himself before him. Then Baba said to him, go on daily reading the Poti, that is the Gnaneshwari. Go and sit in the Vada, read something regularly every day, and while reading, explain the portion read to all of, with love and devotion. I am sitting here, ready to give you whole gold embroidered shela. Then why go ask and steal rags from others? Why should you get into this habit of stealing? Dio was much pleased to hear the words of Baba, for he asked him to start reading Poti. He thought that he got what he wanted and that he could read the book with ease henceforth. He again prostrated himself before Baba and said that he surrendered himself to him and that he should be treated as a child and be helped in his reading. He realized then what Baba meant by stealing rags. What he asked Balakram constituted the rags, and Baba did not like his behavior in this respect. As he was ready to answer any question, he did not like him to ask others and make unnecessary enquiries, and therefore he harassed and scolded him. Theo thought that he really did not harass and scold him, but thought that he was ready to fulfill his desires, and there was no use asking others in vain. Theo took these scoldings as flowers and blessings and went home satisfied and contented. The matter did not end here. Baba did not stop with only issuing an order to read. Within a year, he went to Dio and inquired about his progress. On 2nd April 1914, on Thursday morning, Baba gave him a dream vision. He sat on the upper floor and asked him whether he understood the Poti. No, answered Dio. Baba, then when are you going to understand? Baba Dio burst into his tears and said, "Unless you shower your grace, the reading is mere worry, and the understanding is still more difficult. I say this definitely." Baba, while reading, you make haste. Read it before me, in my presence. Dio, what shall I read? Baba, read Adhyatma, spiritualism. Dio went to bring the book when he opened his eyes and was awakened. We leave the readers to imagine what ineffable joy and bliss Dio felt after this vision. Botu Sri Sai, peace be to all. Sri Sachidananda Sadguru, Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. End of chapter 41.